And if the world is unreal, you are totally relaxed. Because the reality of the world goes on impinging on you, hammering you. As far as I know, I have suggested this technique to many people who suffer insomnia. It helps deeply. If the world is unreal, tensions dissolve. And if you can move from the periphery, you have already moved to a deep state of sleep. Before the sleep comes, you are already deep into it. And then in the morning it is beautiful, because you are so fresh, so young, the whole energy vibrating. And just coming from the center back to the periphery. So the moment you become alert that now the sleep is no more, don't open your eyes first. First do this. The body is relaxed after the whole night, feeling fresh and alive. Do this experiment for 10 minutes, then open the eyes. Relax. You are already relaxed, it will not take much time, just relax. Bring your consciousness to the heart, just between the two armpits. Feel it filled with deep peace. For 10 minutes, remain in that peace. And then open the eyes. And the world will look totally different. Because that peace will be radiated from your eyes also. And the whole day, you will feel different. Not only you will feel different, you will feel people are behaving with you differently. Because in every relationship, you contribute. If your contribution is not there, people behave differently. Because they feel you are a different person. They may not be aware of it. But when you are filled with peace, everyone will behave differently with you. They will be more loving and more kind. Less resistant, more open. Closer. The magnet is there. The peace is the magnet. When you are peaceful, people come nearer to you. When you are disturbed, everyone is repelled. And this is so physical a phenomenon that you can observe it easily. Whenever you are peaceful, you will feel everyone wants to be closer to you. And because that peace radiates, it becomes vibrations around you. Circles of peace move around you. And whosoever comes near feels to be more nearer to you. And just like a shadow of a tree. And you feel to move under the shadow and to relax there. A person who is peaceful within has a shadow around him. Wherever he goes, everyone would like to be closer to him. Open, trusting. A person who has inner turmoil, conflict, anguish, anxiety, tensions, repels persons. Whosoever comes near becomes afraid. And you are dangerous. And to be near you is dangerous. Because you will give whatsoever you have. You are constantly giving it. So you may like to love someone, but if you are very much disturbed within, even your lover will be repelled. And he would like to escape from you. Because you will drain his energy. And he will not feel happy with you. And whenever you leave him, you will leave him tired, exhausted. Because you don't have a life-giving source. You have a destructive energy within you. So not only you will feel that you are different, others will also feel around you are different. The whole lifestyle can change if you move a little closer to the center. And the whole outlook. And the whole outcome. If you are peaceful, the whole world becomes peaceful to you. It is just a reflection. Whatsoever you are is reflected all over. Everyone becomes a mirror. Second technique. Feel yourself as pervading all directions, far, near. Tantra and yoga both think that your narrowness is the problem. You have made yourself so narrow, so tightly narrow. That's why you feel always in bondage. The bondage is not coming from anywhere else. The bondage is coming from your narrow mind. And it goes on being narrower and narrower. And you are so confined. That confinedness gives you a feeling of bondage. You have an infinite soul, an infinite being. That infinite being feels imprisoned. So whatsoever you do, you feel everywhere limitations. Wherever you move, a point comes, a cul-de-sac. You cannot move beyond it. Everywhere you feel, there is a boundary. There is no open sky to fly. But that boundary is created by you. That boundary is your own creation. You have created it for certain reasons. For security, safety. You have created a boundary. And the narrower the boundary, you feel more secure. If you have a very big boundary, you cannot watch all over it. You cannot be everywhere, alert, watching. It becomes vulnerable. Narrower the boundary, you can watch it. You can remain closed. You are not vulnerable. You feel safe. The safety, security, has created the boundary. But then you feel bondage. And this is how the mind is paradoxical. You go on asking for more safety, and you go on asking for more freedom. Both cannot be together. If you want freedom, you will have to lose safety, security. And in any case, the safety is just illusory. It is not really there. Because death is going to happen. Whatsoever you do, you are going to die. All your safety, security is just a facet. Nothing will help. But afraid of insecurity, you create boundaries. You create big walls around you. And then the open sky is closed. And then you suffer. And then you say, where is the open sky? And I want freedom and I want to move. But these boundaries you have created. So first thing to remember, before you can do this technique really, otherwise it will not be possible to do it. With your boundaries intact, you cannot do it. Unless you withdraw creating boundaries, unless you stop creating boundaries, you will not be able to feel this or do this. Pervading everywhere, reaching far and near. No boundaries, becoming infinite, with the infinite space, becoming one. This will be impossible. With your mind, how can you feel it? How can you do it? So first you will have to withdraw, doing certain things. The first thing is, if you are too much concerned about security and safety, then remain in bondage. Really, the prison is the most secure place. No one can harm you there. No one out of prison is so much secure as the prisoners. Guard it. You cannot kill, you cannot murder a prisoner. It is difficult. He is more guarded than a king. You can murder a president. It is not so difficult. A king, it is every day. They go on killing them. But you cannot kill a prisoner. He is so safe that those who want to be safe really, they must be in prisons. They must not live out. To live out of a prison is dangerous. It is full of hazards. And anything can happen. So we have created mental prisons around us, psychological prisons around us. And we carry those prisons with ourselves. They are portable. You need not remain with them, they move with you. Wherever you go, your prison goes with you. You are always behind a wall. Only sometimes, rarely, you stretch your hand out of it to touch someone. But only hands. You never come out of your prison. So whenever we meet, it is simply meeting hands out of prisons, out of windows. We stretch the hand, afraid, scared, and ready any moment to withdraw the hands. And both the parties are doing the same. Only hands touch. Now psychologists say that even that is just an appearance, because hands have their own armor around them. No hand is ungloved. Not only that Queen Elizabeth uses gloves, you have also gloves so that no one can touch you. Or even when someone touches, there is only hand dead. You are already withdrawn, afraid. Because the other creates fear. As Sartre says, the other is the enemy. The other will look as an enemy if you are so much armored. Because with an armored person there can be no friendship. Friendship is impossible. Love is impossible. Communion is impossible. You are afraid. Someone may not make you a possession. Someone may not overpower you. Someone may not make you a slave. Afraid of this, you have created a prison, a safety wall around you. Cautiously you move. Cautiously you take every step. Life becomes a drudgery. Life becomes a boredom. Too much cautious, life cannot be an adventure. Too much protecting yourself. Too much hankering after security. You are already dead. So remember one basic law. Life is insecurity. Life is insecurity. And if you are ready to live in insecurity, only then you will be alive. Insecurity is freedom. If you are ready to be insecure, constantly insecure, you will be free. And freedom is the door to the divine. Afraid, you create a prison, you become dead, more and more dead. And then you call, where is God? And then you question, where is life? What life means? Where is bliss? Life is there waiting for you. But you have to meet it on its own terms. You cannot have your own terms. Life has its own terms. And the basic term is remain insecure. Nothing can be done about it. You can only create an illusion. And in that illusion you can waste your life. Nothing can be done about it. Whatsoever you do is just a deception. You fall in love. Then you become afraid. This woman can leave you any moment. Or this man can leave you. The fear enters immediately. You were never afraid when you were not in love. Now you are in love. Life has entered. Insecurity has entered with it. One who never loves anybody is never afraid that anyone will leave him. The whole world can leave him. He is not afraid. You cannot harm him. He is secure. The moment you love someone, insecurity has entered because life has entered. And with life, death has entered. The moment you love, you have become afraid. This person can die. This person can leave. This person can love somebody else. Now, to make secure, you must start doing something. You must get married. So, a legal bondage. So now, it is difficult for this person to leave you. Now the society will protect you. The law will protect you. The policeman and the judge, they all will protect you. Now if this person wants to leave, you can drag him in the court. Even if he wants to divorce, then he will have to prove something against you. And then too it will take 3 or 5 years. Now, you have created a safety around you. But the moment you are married, you are dead. The relationship is not alive. Now it has become a law, not a relationship. Now it is a legal phenomena, not a alive thing. The court cannot protect life. The court can only protect bargains. The law cannot protect life. The law can only protect laws. Now marriage is something which is a dead thing. It can be defined. Love cannot be defined. Marriage is definable. Love is indefinable. Now you have come under the world of definitions. But the phenomenon is already dead. The moment you wanted it to be secure, the moment you wanted to close it, so no new thing happens to it, you are imprisoned in it. And then you will suffer. Then you will say this wife has become a bondage to me, and the wife will say this husband has become a bondage to me. And then you will fight because you each for the other have become imprisonment. No, you will fight. Now love has disappeared, only conflict is there. This is what happens for the hankering of security. And this has happened in everything. Remember it as basic, that life is insecure. This is the very nature of it. So when love is there, suffer the fear that the beloved can leave you. But don't create security. Then love will grow. The beloved can die and you cannot do anything. But that will not kill love. Only security can kill. Love will grow more. Really, if man was immortal, love would be impossible. Think, if man was immortal, I say love would be impossible. It will be difficult to love anybody if you were immortals. It will be so dangerous to fall in love. Death is there. And life is just like a dewdrop on a trembling leaf. Any moment, the breeze comes and the dewdrop will fall and disappear. Life is just a wavering. Because of that wavering, because of that movement, and death is always there. It gives intensity to love. Love is possible only because there is death. Love becomes intense because there is death. Think, if you know that your beloved is going to die the next moment, all meanness will go, all conflict will go. And this one moment will become eternity. And you will be so much loved that your whole being will be poured into it. But you know the beloved is going to live. There is no hurry. You can fight and you can postpone loving later on. If life is eternal, you are immortal in the body, you cannot love. Hindus have a beautiful myth. They say in heaven, where Indra rules, Indra is the king of heaven, there is no love. There are beautiful girls, more beautiful than the earth, and deities. And they make sex, but there is no love. Because they are immortal. So it is recorded, one of the beautiful Indian stories, that Urvasi, the chief of the heavenly girls, asked permission of Indra to move for a few days to earth to love a man. So Indra says, what nonsense, you can love here. And you will not find such beautiful persons on the earth. Urvasi said, they are beautiful, but they are immortal. So there is no charm. And they are really dead. They are really dead because there is no death to make them alive. They will be always there. They cannot die, so how they can be alive? And that aliveness is just against death. A man is alive because death is there constantly fighting. Against the background of death, life exists. So Urvasi said, give me permission to move to the earth. I want to love someone. She came down, the permission was given. She fell in love with Pururva, one young man. But there was a condition from Indra. Indra has made a condition that you can go to the earth, you can love someone. But this is the condition. Tell the man who loves you not to ask anything about you, who you are. And it is difficult for love. Love is curious. Love wants to know everything about the beloved. Everything. And the whole unknown has to be made known. The whole mystery has to be entered and penetrated. So cunningly Indra made a condition. Urvasi couldn't understand the craftiness of it. She said, okay, I will tell the lover that don't be curious about me, don't ask who I am. And if he asks immediately, I will leave him. And I will come back. So she said to Pururva that don't ever ask anything about me, who I am. The moment you will ask, I will have to leave earth. Even then love is curious. And because of this, Pururva must have become more curious who she is. He will not sleep. He will go on looking at Urvasi, who she is. And such a beautiful woman, made of dreamy stuff, doesn't look earthly, doesn't look substantial, comes from somewhere else, some unknown dimension. He became more and more curious, but he became more and more afraid also, because he will leave. He became so afraid that in the night when he will sleep, he will take a fragment of her sari in his hand. Because he is not confident about himself. Any moment he can ask, the question is always there. Even in sleep he can ask. And Urvasi has said, you cannot even sleep, you cannot ask, who are you? So he sleeps with a part of her sari in his hand. But one night, he couldn't contain. And he thought, now she loves him so much, she will not leave. And he asked. And Urvasi had to disappear. Only a fragment of her sari remained in Pururva's hand. And it is said he is still searching for her at that point. In heaven, love cannot be made. Because there is no life really. Life exists here on earth where death exists. Whenever you make anything secure, life disappears. Remain insecure. That is the very quality of life itself. Nothing can be done about it. And it is beautiful. Think, if your body is immortal, it will be ugly. And you will start finding ways and means how to commit suicide. And if it is impossible, against the law, you will suffer so much you cannot even imagine. Immortality is a very long thing. Now in the West, they go on thinking about euthanasia. Because now people are living more, longer. So a person who reaches the age of 100 wants the right to kill himself. And really the right will have to be given. Because we made it a law not to commit suicide when life was very short. Really in Buddha's age, to be 40 or 50 was too much. The average life was just near about 20. In India, just 2 decades before, the average life was 23. Now in Sweden, it has reached average life 83. So people can live very easily and be 150. In Soviet Russia, there are 1,500 people who have reached the mark of 150. Now, if they say that we need the right to kill ourselves, because no, it is too much. We will have to give them the right. It cannot be denied to them. Sooner or later, suicide will be one of the birthrights. You cannot deny if a person wants to die. Not for any reason, because now life has no meaning. It has been too long already. A person living at 150 doesn't feel like living. Not that he is frustrated. Not that there is no food. Everything is there, but life has no meaning. So think of immortality. Life will be totally meaningless. The meaning comes with death. Love has meaning because love can be lost. And then it throbs, vibrates, pulsates. It can be lost. You cannot be certain about it. You cannot think anything about it for tomorrow. It may not be there. And you have to love the lover and the beloved with the view that tomorrow will never be there, may not be there at all. Then love becomes intense. So first, withdraw your efforts to create a secured life. Just withdrawing, your walls around you will fall. For the first time, you will feel rains coming to you directly, the wind blowing to you directly, the sun rising to you directly. You will be under the open sky. It is beautiful. And if it looks horrible to you, it is only because you have become accustomed to live in a prison. You will have to get accustomed to this new freedom. This freedom will make you more alive, more flowing, more open, more rich, more radiant. But the more radiant you are, the higher the peak of your aliveness, the deeper will be the death near you, just near. And you can rise only against death, the valley of death, and the peak of life. They are always near and in proportion. That's why I always say that Nietzsche's dictum is to be followed. It is a very religious dictum. Nietzsche says, live dangerously. Not that you have to seek danger positively. No need to seek danger positively. Don't create protections. Don't create walls around you. Live naturally and that will be dangerous. Enough dangerous. No need to seek any danger. And then you can do this technique. Feel yourself as pervading all directions, far, near. Then it is very easy. If walls are not there, you will be already feeling yourself pervading all, everywhere. Then there is no point where you end. You simply begin here in the heart and end nowhere. You have a center and no periphery. And the periphery goes on expanding on. And the whole space is surrounded by it. Stars move in it. Earths are born and dissolve. Planets arise and set. The whole cosmos becomes your periphery. In this vastness, where will be your ego? In this vastness, where will be your suffering? In this vastness, where will be your mean mind? The mediocre mind, where it will be? It cannot be there. In such vastness, it simply disappears. It can exist only in a narrow field. It can exist only when it is walled, enclosed, encapsulated. The encapsulation is the problem. Live dangerously and be ready to live in insecurity. And the beauty is that even if you decide not to live in insecurity, you will live. You cannot do anything. I have heard about one king. He was so afraid of death. And kings are more afraid. They are more afraid because they have exploited so many people, pushed, crushed, pulled, manipulated so many people. They have made so many enemies. A real king has no friend. He cannot have. Because the closest friend is also an enemy, is just waiting to have an opportunity to kill you and to be in your place. So a man in power cannot have any friends. A Hitler, a Stalin, a Nixon, they cannot have friends. They have just enemies who are parading around them as friends and just waiting for the right chance to push you aside from the throne. So whenever they get a chance, then they do everything. They were just a moment before friendly, but their friendly is a strategy. Friendliness is a tactics. A man who is in power cannot have friends. So Lao Tzu says, if you want friends, don't be in power. Then the whole world will be friendly to you. If you are in power, then you are only the friend of yourself. Everyone is your enemy. So the king was very afraid. He was so much scared of death. It was all around. He was haunted by the idea that everyone is going to kill him. He couldn't sleep. So he asked his wise men, counselors, what to do. So they said, you make a palace with only one door. And on the door, you have 7 rings of military men. The first watching the palace, the second watching the first, the third ring watching the second ring, 7 rings around it, and only one door. So no one can enter, and she will be safe. So the king made a palace. It was the only one palace in the world, very wise, with only one door. with 7 rings of soldiers watching each other. The news is spread all over. So another king of a nearby estate came to see it. He was also afraid. And the news reached that your neighbor has made such a secured palace that it is impossible to kill him. So the king came. He appreciated the idea very much. Only one door. Every safety. No danger. And while he was appreciating on the door, a beggar started laughing, just sitting on the corner of the street. So the king, the owner of the palace, asked the beggar, "Why are you laughing?" He said, "I am laughing. You have made only one error. Go inside and close this door also. This door is dangerous. Somebody can enter it. A door means that somebody can enter it. And if nobody enters, at least death will enter. So you do one thing, go inside and let this door be also closed. Then you will be safety, even death cannot enter." So the king said, "But that means I am already dead if I close this door also." So the beggar says, "You are already 99% dead. Only this much alive, this door. And that is the only danger, this much alive. Leave this much aliveness also." And everyone doing in his own way, just creating a palace around him where nothing can enter. And he can remain there in peace. But you are already dead. And peace happens only to those who are alive. Peace is not a dead thing. Remain alive, live dangerously, live a vulnerable life, open. So everything can happen to you. And let everything happen. The more things happen to you, the richer you will be. And then you can practice this technique. This is then very easy. You will not even need to practice it. Just you think and you are pervading the whole space. Enough?